What's up, guys? So we're back again today, and I'm bringing to you guys a comprehensive guide for all the boss floors for TOA Hard. I just completed it, and I wanted to be able to give you guys a guide that you guys can look at if you guys see a floor that you want to beat and you can't beat it. It's going to be boss floors. If you guys want, when in the comments, if there's specific floors that keep popping up, I'll go ahead and make a video for those floors. But as far as I've seen in this TOA Hard, it wasn't that hard. It was pretty easy. There weren't any floors that stood out to me. In the beginning, in the first 10 to, I want to say 30 floors, I just used my speed team that I used for TOA normal because it does it just fine. I was fresh off of my TOA normal victory, so I just went in and just left the team, and it does fine. If you guys have problems before floor 40, you probably shouldn't be doing TOA Hard. That's just the honest truth. There's probably either a lack of units or a lack of runes, but as you can see, I'm not like stunning everybody here. All I'm doing is I'm bringing a whole bunch of CC, and that's kind of what you want to do for TOA Hard. It's all about CCing your opponents and being able to crowd control. So that's pretty much what I did for floors 1 or 10, 1 to 30, pretty much. And if you guys have any like specific questions on how the boss floors work and stuff, and like, you don't understand the mechanics, just go and leave a comment in there, and I'll try my best to break it down to you, either in the comments or, like I said, if it becomes popular, I'll go ahead and make a video on that floor. And I have, starting at I think around floor 50, I start speeding up the mob floors to around 4 times speed, and then the boss floor is 2 times speed. But if you guys need to see the floor in a slower motion, like you need to see what I'm actually doing, you can always use the slow function on YouTube. Just on the settings, there should be like a little settings thing, and then just toggle the speed, put it to like half speed or even a quarter speed, and just run it like that, and you can see how I'm actually running it. I actually had fewer fails on this TOA run, the TOA Hard run, than I did on normal, so yeah, that's pretty much it. And as we get through the later floors that actually require thinking, I'll go ahead and give you guys some in-depth thought process of what's going on. So right now I'm just using a basic semi crowd control speed team using Sigmaris, and at this point the archangels aren't too big of a problem, so I'm just gonna leave them and I can just go straight for the boss. Alright, so moving on to floor 50. This is a floor that gives a lot of people trouble because of the fact that the OGs hit hard, and we're actually lucky this month that the OGs happen to be on floor 50 rather than floor 70, 80, or 90, which they sometimes are. So Comptos has been really nice with putting the harder floors as lower bosses, but the mechanics still work the same. So the team I brought here is Beretta, Veramos, Spectra, and Basalt. And as you notice, I'm not using Veramos in this comp, and I'm not using a true dedicated healer. Basalt on his own is a pretty good crowd controller, and I use this team for a lot of the boss floors. So the thing about Basalt is he can control attack bar and he can provoke, right? So the attack order that I want to go for is I want to aim for the win OG, because if it moves even one time on my team, it can be devastating. So the good thing about Basalt is he can provoke the win OG, right? And when he provokes the win OG, it prevents her from doing that crazy ass skill that she does, and she'll just auto attack him, which still hits pretty hard. But if she does, say we miss the provoke and our accuracy is off, or the boss's resistance is super high, what we can do is, if we have the shield buff at least, or the defense buff, at least when we do take hits from either the imps or the light OG or whatever, at least we're going to be able to tank it a little better, and we're going to be able to survive. So that's a good thing. And then the rest of the team is pretty self-explanatory. Brian for the attack breaks, and just in case your team happens to die, if a unit dies, he's really good at balancing the attack bar. And that's hardly the case if you're using a team like this where you're denying turns. But for the most part, he's going to be providing that attack break and the heal block. And then Verd is going to go ahead and give you continuous turns through his passive, while Spectra is going to give you that slow and attack bar manipulation. If you're lucky, he'll push down the attack bar, and he's also good for chunking the boss. Even without defense break, he still does a decent amount of damage. And of course, Bretta is a staple in pretty much every TOA team, and he can reset the attack bar, and he'll end up dotting the rest of the imps and stuff, right? So another thing about this floor is people always they get caught up in the mentality of you have to kill the mobs before you hit the boss, and that's not always the case. The good thing about using a CC team like this is that when you aim for the boss, if I'm aiming for Charlotte the entire time with my Beretta, I'm gonna not intentionally, but intentionally, I'm not targeting specifically the imps, but I'm gonna be landing those dots, and the dots are gonna stun, and then Brian has his stun since he's on despair, so he's gonna stun them, and he's gonna attack break them, and then Spectra's gonna slow him down, and then Basalt can knock back the attack bar. So the attack order, I would say for me personally, I go for the Win OG and then the Light OG. I just don't even bother with the imps, because most of the time I'm gonna have defense buff up, or they're gonna be stunned, or they're gonna be attack broken, and they're not that big of a threat. Your big threat that you wanna take care of is that Win OG. Once the Win OG is dead, then the Light OG is your second priority. Make sure you constantly provoke them, and you keep knocking their attack bar up, keep knocking their attack bar down. And for Beretta, my standard for using my Turbulence is I like to use it when the unit is at least half attack bar. I don't want to waste it if it's only, a quarter attack bar or something. And then that's pretty much it for this floor. If you end up facing it the next rotation it's higher, the same strategy works, the same team works. So that's pretty much it for floor 50. At that point we can just auto it, and that takes care of the OG stage. Alright, next up we have the Dark Sylphid, and the Dark Sylphid is not too much of a problem. Again, I used the same team that I used in the OG team, but I decided I'm gonna bring in Veramos instead of Briand, simply because of the fact that I like the constant stuns. And then sometimes when you have a whole bunch of units instead of just the 2 imps, you want to have more crowd control on a shorter cooldown, and you also want to be able to dot them, because if not, then you're just solely relying on Beretta, who is going to dot them, but it's going to take a while, and my Beretta is not skilled up at all. I think she has 2 skill ups, and it's in her auto attack for damage, so it's not going to increase my cooldown or whatever. So as you can see, there's 4 units here, and I want to crowd control everybody. So that's if I need a stun, I have Veramos there, and in the meantime I can go ahead and target the mobs with my Veramos. And since I'm not bringing an attack break, which you don't need an attack break in TOA Hard, because the way you kill things is with dots, unless it's a rare situation where I don't even know, maybe there's a Chloe, the Chloe and whatever the other thing floor was, I forgot. Anyways, you just want to target, on this floor you want to target the Grim Reapers first, because they can screw you up. One of them can put dots on your team, and then the other one's gonna stun your whole team. And then Megan buff on her own, she's not that strong. And then as long as you keep, okay, again with the boss, your main priority is to keep the boss's attack down, their attack bar down, and you also want to provoke them. Like the number one way you're gonna lose on boss floors is missing a provoke. Like you have to get that provoke on, because if you think about it, like they're not gonna hit you for that hard if you have Basalt's defense break, because you're provoking him with Basalt, right? So again, once you see the dots, you also don't want to waste your turns. Keep hitting units that are pretty much dead. So as you can see, I've already started to focus on the Dark Sylphid rather than going for the other Reaper or Megan, because I know they're dead already, and then I can just work on them and they're not going to do any crazy damage. So I'm just autoing at this point. And what you're going to see is like the synergy that works with this team. You're going to see how Beretta keeps turbulencing if it gets too high, and then I'm going to get more turns from Verd, which allows me to provoke and reduce attack bar more. And then every couple of turns my Spectre is going to come in and lower that attack bar, slow him down, which means his attack bar is going to slowly fill up, right? And then at this point Veramos becomes a little bit useless. Not useless, but just not as great as he was in the mob floors. But the real core of the team is going to be Beretta, Spectra, Verd, and Basalt. And what you're going to see too is that Basalt's heal doesn't seem like it's a big thing because it's like a small heal. But when you're denying the opponent turns and you're getting more turns off of Verd, that heal is going to add up and it's going to become like cumulative. And you're going to get a whole bunch of heals and you're going to have a defense buff. And the boss itself doesn't have, you know, a defense break on skill 1 if it's constantly provoked. So you're going to be able to clear the boss really easy. So that's about it for floor 60, and that's how I cleared it. Moving on to floor 70. Alright, so 70 is a floor that I failed on once, and it gave me so much, like it was irritating because I was working on it for a long time, and I had already completed I completed TOA normal, and then I ended up doing TOA hard. So at that point I'm just kind of like pooped and kind of like irritable, and so I just ran the same team that I used on the last one. It's the same, you know, and that's the great thing. I know a lot of people will say, oh dang, like Nick has a whole bunch of TOA monsters and he has like Farad and Thrain and all that stuff, but when it comes to boss floors, I use a pretty standard team. I can't really help you if you don't have a Verd or a Basalt. Basalt was a Guardian reward, and if you're looking to clear TOA hard, it's not necessary, but Basalt helps so much. It makes it so easy. I haven't really failed. I haven't had trouble since I got Basalt after Guardian week. Before it used to be like I would get irritated, I'd still beat TOA hard. It just takes me longer because I don't have the provoke, but Basalt just makes everything so much easier. Okay, so what you're going to want to do on this floor is, again, you need to provoke Seara, because Seara will pop the bomb before you can cleanse it. And Veramos is going to shine here because if a JoJo happens to lay a bomb on you, it needs 2 turns unless Seara pops you, right? But since JoJo takes 2 turns, in that turn you can have your Veramos move and strip off the bomb on your team. So you want to keep Seara provoked so she doesn't lay a bomb and insta pop a bomb. Again, we don't have Bree in here, so we can't, there's no second chances. You have to go in there and you have to win on your first try. And what you want to do is go for the JoJo, and as you can see, those bombs are on my team right now, but Veramos cleansed it. So you want to go for the JoJos first, mainly because you want, if you attack the JoJos directly, they have their revenge passive, and at this high up at like level 60, like the monster level 60, the revenge is actually pretty strong. And so you can see on my bread, I just took a little bit of damage from that Liebli. But sometimes you don't really have a choice, and you have to try and get a stun off, because because you see both, like 2 of them lined up, right? And then if there's a bomb on each of them and they both lay a bomb, Veramos can only remove 1 buff, or 1 debuff. So he's gonna remove the first bomb, and then when it's his second turn, the bomb's gonna pop before he gets to remove it. So you need to take care of all the bombers, make sure they don't get a chance, or never let 2 bombers at a time move on you, because you run the risk of them laying 2 bombs and then killing you. But again, your priority is to make sure that Seara doesn't move, because if Seara moves, she'll pop whatever bombs are on you. So I took care of JoJo's, and next, when the Liblis are stunned, that's when it's your turn to hit them, because they can't revenge you when they're stunned. So you wait till they're stunned, and unless like you have huge amount, like maybe your unit's tanky, maybe it's a basalt and then you want to provoke them, or maybe it's your Veramos who has high defense and is trying to stun them. But other than that, unless it's like a situation where you could wipe if that Joker gets a turn, then you should probably just stay away from it. So right here, as you can see on my left and my right, they both have dots on each of those Jokers, so they're gonna pretty much just die by themselves anyways. So might as well just target Seara and let the CC take care of it. And at this point, we pretty much have it on lock, because she's provoked, and sorry about that, that's a YouTube comment, and I think we just have to manual here. I don't remember if I manual or not, but pretty much the only reason I would manual is if I sense that my AI might decide to derp, and I start using the Fire Phoenix over my Turbulence to reset attack bar, or if my Basalt just kept missing and chose to use the defense buff instead of provoking, which he should be, you know. But the AI doesn't know what you're using your unit for, so of course it's going to choose the higher skill or whatever is more like usually used or would be widely used. So I think another thing is, yeah, I think that's where I went wrong. I actually passed it the first time, like I got to here and then I got kind of like confident, so I walked away from it while I was autoing it, and that's what happened. I came back right when I saw Seara just like smashing my team because I missed the provoke, so I wanted to make sure I got the provoke in before I started going ham, because you never know, if Seara gets 1 turn, it's over, because all these units are key. The only one again that I can lose at this point is gonna be my Veramos, because he doesn't provide much on the boss floors once you've already, you know, established your provoke and CC on the boss. But all in all, I know this is going to be the floor that gives everyone trouble. It always does. And again, we're lucky that Seara's on 70 and not on 80 or 90, because I know people, before there was Basalt Week, people were ruining up their almonds and stuff, and it was hell. But that's pretty much it for floor 70. It's just me repeating the same rotation over and over again. Reset attack bar, attack gauge reduction, and CC provoke. I hope I'm not boring you guys with this. I want to be able to have a guide that you guys can just go and reference when you have a boss floor, and you know. So anyways, moving on to floor 80, we have Kraka, the Dark Hell Lady, and for this I decided to use Bella as a healer. And also the stage before the boss had these fedoras that are super irritating because of the endure buff and the immunity, so which kind of nullifies my CC if there's immunity, right? So what I had to do was bring my C's so that I could seize the boss, or seize the fedoras and the rest of these mobs, so I can get some kills in, because it can really hurt you when you only have like 2 fire units that are really squishy, like Beretta and Verd, and there's 3 water units that are immune to CC, which means they're gonna pile dog onto one unit, and it could just kill your Beretta or your Verd. And without a Briand, you kind of don't have a second chance. You need to be able to clear it on your first try. So that's why I took Bella on this run, and I happened to sub out my Spectra, but I don't really need Spectra for this floor because if you look at the mobs on the side, they're really squishy and they're really dottable. Like, I feel like you don't need Spectra to control the elementals because they die really easily, and that's the whole point of Kraka. She just revives them, and it's more about just, you know, killing her, keeping your guys alive. And Bella works really nice too because of the fact that she acts as a tank for the boss. Like, you know that they're gonna focus fire on the Bella, and the fact that it does so much damage and my Bella's on Nemesis helps, because if she does do a huge nuke, I can, you know, heal up immediately. And she does synchronize really nice with the rest of the team because of the fact that her heal provides in attack bar buff. And as you can see, I came really close to dying, which is how much damage they do. But what you want to do for this floor is you want to again provoke the boss so that she doesn't do any crazy things. And you also want to make sure that when you go for the elementals, which you're aiming for first, that you don't kill them, because if you kill the elementals, then you're gonna take I don't know if it's a reflect damage or it's like a suicide bomb kind of thing going on, where if you kill it, it kills you back. So you don't want to fuck with that. And basically you want to make them die from dots. So that's where Vermos and Beretta come in, and you have to kind of gauge it. When you get close to killing these units, you want to make sure that you get it close, but you don't want to end up killing it, because again, you don't have that Brian to revive your units. And if you make a mistake and you end up killing it, and it could be over for you. And that's kind of why I like to avoid armor breaking them, because sometimes you armor break them and you don't realize how hard your units are hitting, and it could kill you. So you want to make sure that you know who you're hitting, and if you have a CC that's up that could possibly kill a unit that has a sliver of life left, then just use your auto attacks on the boss so that it doesn't kill them. Because if you kill them, then trust me, you are fucked. So like you see right now, I have Basalt's 3rd skill up, and I'm not going to use it, and I also have Vermos' stun up, and I don't want to use it because if I do use it, I could lose those units, and it's scary, right? So I'm not even using Bretta's dots now. And okay, now the boss regenerates, so now I can use my dots and stuff because they have fairly higher health, and then if they die by dots, it's good. And another good thing about killing those elementals is Kraka's AI, the priority is to revive those dead units, so it's pretty good. You end up you take the pressure off of yourself basically when you let Kraka revive the units, and then you can just concentrate on them, and then pretty much at that point you can just auto it, because you know, until we'll wait till the elementals die, because if you don't let the elementals die, we could, you know, again kill ourselves. But at this point it's pretty safe. We got the run, and that's it for. Alright, moving on, we are now at floor 90, and it's gonna be the Light Lich. So for the Light Lich, I went ahead and brought the same team, and I opted not to use Bella because there's no real buffs that we need to remove. Like, I mean, there's the immunity, or not immunity, but the invincibility that you're gonna work on the boss when you hit floor 90. I think it's at the when he falls below the 50% mark. But other than that, this floor is like really easy. Your biggest enemy here is going to be crashes, because it takes so damn long to do that revive floor with the Michelles and the Ionas. And I thought it was pretty cool that they put this floor on floor 90. I don't see how anyone can really fail floor 90 if you've gotten this far, because the dark Epicon priests don't really do anything, and the light lich doesn't really do anything, so there's not really much anything that the bosses really do. I don't think it's really relevant. It would be much scarier if the other bosses like the OGs or Seara were on this floor, but fortunately for us it's not. So, and a technique that I like to use for the revive comps is just to move left to right. Just keep killing the unit on the left until all the other units' cooldowns or their skills are on cooldowns, and then you kill it again, and then you kill the next one, and so forth from left to right. For the light lich, now I'm gonna be straightforward here. I don't even know what they do, but I do know that my CC team works, and I know that I just need to provoke the boss as usual, and I just need to target the dark Epicon priest. So I'm just using my dots here, and every time that a unit is moving, like it's not stunned, then I switch to that unit until that unit's either provoked or stunned. And then in the meantime, I try to reset the attack bar in the boss, and I provoke him until the unit is completely dead. So that's what I did. I focus fired back and forth between them, and like I said, I honestly, truthfully don't even know what the dark Epicon priest does, and I don't even know what the light lich does. The only thing that I know that's relevant for the light lich is he does some kind of immunity thing or invincibility thing at like less than 50% or something, and he has that 24% speed lead, and that's all I know about him. So, and not that it matters, because for the most part he's going to be doing auto attacks, right, because of the fact that I provoke him. And then once you kill off the Epicon priest, it's pretty straightforward. You can just auto it. There's nothing he's gonna really do. He doesn't have a heal, I think, or maybe he does have a heal. I'm not too sure, but I don't know if it's on the first skill. If it is on the first skill, then I don't know. Didn't seem to bother me. It's not like Artemil on the other rotation, where if you end up autoing it and you miss the heal block, then he's gonna fuck you over. This is pretty straightforward. Again, using the same tactics. So if you guys ever get to boss floor, just use this team, and some substitutes that you could use in place of the harder units to obtain, like Verd, Basalt, and Spectra. I mean, not Spectra. I mean, I guess Spectra could be hard for you to get if you're like completely free to play and you've never gotten a Fire Griffin from anywhere. Then yeah, fuck your life. But if not, then Verd could be replaced with Bernard. It's not going to be as effective for this, especially when autoing, because you can't really trust the AI. But he'll do a good job of keeping your team fast and attack bar boosting. For Basalt, any unit that has Provoke is going to be decent, and it has to be tanky. You're going to want units like maybe Amen, or even the other Mammoth, or I guess I don't know if all the other Mammoths provoke, but you're gonna want them to be tanky, probably with defense and stuff. So yeah, but Beretta and Veramos is like a must. You should have Veramos and Beretta by the time that you get to TOA Hard 90, and if not, then pause what you're doing, stop stage 90, get a Beretta, and if you come back to it, I guarantee you, like, you'll be able to pass it, because Beretta's legit, and I use him in every floor. There wasn't one floor that I didn't use Beretta. He's the only one that I used Beretta from floor 1 through 100 on TOA Hard. So, and mine's not even skilled up. I should probably get on skilling it up, right? And okay, so the moment you guys have been waiting for, floor 100. This I finished on my first try as usual. For some reason, okay, the last time that I did this floor, it was more frustrating for me because I didn't know the strategy, and I'm used to doing Lyrith TOA Hard, which is a lot easier for me, which is kind of weird. But this floor, or this time on this rotation, it was actually super easy. I followed what I went by originally, or the last rotation, and I decided I'm not gonna try and be a speed hero here. I'm just gonna try and clear it and make sure I don't crash. So number one thing that you got to do before you start floor 100 is, if you're running an iPhone, make sure you close all your apps, close out all the existing programs so that you don't crash. Make sure that you're in a channel, or make sure that you don't even join a channel. I joined the channel because I'm usually in 5001, and if I passed it, I wanted everyone to see me beating floor 100 hard, bragging rights. But I made sure that I don't talk in chat. If you're about to win, don't go into chat and be like, yo guys, I'm about to clear 100, I'm so nervous, because I did that in my guild chat and I crashed twice two rotations ago. So just don't mess with it. Be slow. There's no reason that you have to. I mean, TOA Hard, you kind of rush, but not really. It's more like, can you complete it within the first week? It's not like everyone is in a second per second basis, because most people do TOA 100 normal first, which is what I did. So don't rush. Do not rush TOA 100 hard. Just take it turn by turn and think about the decision that you have to make before you do it, instead of just like, I fell in the trap where I got lazy, and I know my team can sustain, and then I'll press auto on the mob floors, and then I'll either lose a unit because I'm stupid and they do something crazy and they resist all my CC, or I pass the second stage, like this stage right here, and my unit will be all on cooldown. Like I use Beretta like a dumbass will use her Phoenix on a unit that has a sliver of HP, so just don't rush it. Okay, a must for this floor, I'm telling you guys right now, is gonna be Hua, Beretta, and Brienne. And again, it's really unfortunate if you don't have those units, but it makes your life so much easier. And the reason for that is, again, Beretta. You're gonna need Beretta no matter what. For up until now, I've already preached it, but for Hua, the ability to manipulate the attack gauge, if you're manipulating the boss's attack gauge, you'll be completely safe from harm. So I'm gonna go into the mechanics first before I get carried away. The way the boss works is, the more debuffs he has on him, the more damage he's gonna do, and he gets these stacks every turn. So what you want to make sure you do is you either let him have the least amount of turns as possible, so he doesn't get a ton of stacks on him. And the right crystal right there, every time that it fills up, it gets a turn, it fills the boss's attack bar up. So what you want to do is, the strategy is lay all the dots on the right crystal as much as possible, and don't let it move. And you also want to start the match off by putting a slow on the boss, so that the boss doesn't get a turn. And then what you're going to do is, you're going to prioritize between the right crystal and the boss. And this is going to be where your judgment comes into play. Is you're going to have to decide with Hua and with Beretta's Turbulence who you want to knock down the attack bar with. So if you see that the boss is around like halfway attack bar, but then the right crystal doesn't have an attack bar half up, then you're probably going to want to Turbulence him or knock back the attack bar down. But if you see that both of the tower and the boss have relatively low attack bar, that's your time for you to use Hua's second skill and put dots. And at that point, we just ignore the left crystal. I don't even know what the left crystal does, to be honest. I'm just being straight up with you guys. As you can see, the right crystal was full. I reset the attack bar on him. You're not going to be able to kill that right crystal if you don't ever let the dots resolve on it, right? So when you're ready for it, what you want to do is you want to have either Hua or Beretta able to move directly after the right crystal, so that when the right crystal moves, it fills up the boss's attack bar, and as soon as that boss's attack bar is full, before it gets a chance to move, you want to either knock his attack bar back down with Hua, or you're gonna reset it with Turbulence. So that's what you see right here. I let the dots resolve on it. It filled up the boss attack bar, and then I knock it straight back down with my Hua, which buys me time to attack or to use Verd and get my rotation again, and to knock it back down with Beretta. But again, technically you could just knock down the boss's HP without having to kill the right crystal, but if you want to be able to auto this, you need to have the boss's attack. You have to kill the right crystal so that the boss doesn't move anymore. Because if you think about it, if you just target the boss only, the right crystal will eventually knock him forward, and then he'll get a chance to move, and eventually the stacks are going to build up and it's not going to be good. So after you take care of the right tower, most likely the left tower is going to die because you did the same amount of dots to it with the Beretta, right? So eventually it's going to die, and then at that point you can just auto. And the reason why this works is you have heal block, which prevents the boss from gaining any life. You have glancing hit from Chasun. You have attack break from Brienne. So attack and glance is going to make that hit from the boss hit like a wet noodle. And then Hua, Verd, and Beretta are going to act like that attack bar reduction, attack gauge manipulation, and they're going to constantly knock it down. So if you watch, the boss always comes close to filling up, but it never gets to fully resolve its thing. So those debuffs are going to stay on there, and that's, yeah. So even if pretty much Chasun is also going to give you that attack buff, so you clear it faster, and Chasun's also gonna be able to heal up your team with 2 heals, which is pretty nice. And Brienne's pretty much another safeguard, aside from the fact that he provides that heal debuff and the attack break. Say your Verd or your Hua go violent, and it's happened to me before where the Verd and Hua end up, going violent, and the boss happens to kill them because of the counter attack. At least what's his name, Brienne can move, and he ends up reviving the Verd or Hua, and when he revives them really nicely because he puts them at an even attack or even health bar as everyone else, and then Chasun has no problem topping off the rest of their health. So that's pretty much it for the floor 100. I'll leave you guys to watch the rest of this. It's pretty much just going to be on auto. So if you guys wanna continue watching, then feel free to do so. If you have any questions, just leave them down below. I'm glad to help you. And again, if there's any floors that are specifically holding you back, say it's like 88 or 74 or whatever, I don't know what the hard floors are, but if there are, then I will try my best again to help you out in the comments, and I'll maybe look at your box or whatever. But if it becomes an issue where there's like 10 people that can't clear a certain floor, then I'll be more than happy to make a tutorial on it, and I'll walk you through the mobs and everything. But as far as this goes, this is just a TOA Hard boss floor level. So yeah, tell me how you guys like it. If you guys liked it, leave me a comment. If you guys like the video, go ahead and like the video. Any questions or concerns, leave a comment, and if you really like it, then feel free to share it with anyone that you know that plays Summoners War. I greatly appreciate it, and I will see you guys next time.